It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies, current releases, coming attractions, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, along with Jim.
Hey, hey!
Hello, Jim. And the man who came to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and he's all out of bubblegum, Murray.
That is right.
Hey there, Murray. So, with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
I almost feel like I'm on speed today. We're going to have to jam through this. We got so much to talk, so much to rage about. It's going to be a jam-packed session, so let's get started. Agenda this week is movies we saw last week, movies that are coming out this week, streaming, Jim and Bryce, Open Rage, Murman Minute, submissions to the Undoubted, Mesmerized, and the Doubted list. Rage or Dare, did Bryce and Jim both rage about Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again? Or did ABBA win both of their cold, dead hearts? And finally, RMM. All right, Bryce, what did we see last week?
Well, Jim, we saw The Way Back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think we're going to have differing opinions on this one.
I don't know. What'd you think of it?
I loved it. So it was it's the latest Ben Affleck movie. Him and Gavin O'Connor is the director. We know these guys previously from the
Accountant.
Accountant. That's it.
Yep.
Movie's about a former high school basketball phenom struggling with alcoholism, is offered a coaching job at his alma mater. I thought this was a really good movie. On the surface, it's an underdog sports movie, but it ends up being so much more than that. Just waiting for the rebuttal. But you know what? I'll just talk for a while, and then we'll get your take on things. So this movie follows Jack, who is expertly played by Ben Affleck, as an alcoholic who basically lives the same day over and over again. Everyone in his life disapproves of him on some level. You can see how tortured he is early on, and you can't really sympathize with him because he has no one to blame but himself. But as the movie rolls along, we slowly start to understand that something has happened in his past and that has made him this way. The reveal midway through the movie shines a completely different light on Jack, and we understand why he is the way he is. Jack's a very flawed man, but in his redemption, he does not apologize for any of these flaws. Even when he stops drinking, it's not like he becomes a better person. He's still an unpleasant ball of rage, yet I found myself rooting for him. Ben Affleck absolutely shines in this role. Janina Gavankar, who was also great in this movie as Jack's ex-wife, she is one of the many likable characters in this movie that are there to deflect the rage of Ben Affleck's Jack. Overall, this was just an expertly made movie with a tremendous character arc, a tremendous performance by the lead actor, tremendous supporting characters, a tremendous soundtrack that at times had the hairs on my arms standing on end, and quite simply is just a tremendously satisfying movie. Mondo!
Well, you know...
I'm waiting for him to take a breath.
Yeah, that was a lot of data dump. You know, after seeing the movie... I think I had almost, it feels like a whole week to sort of reminisce about it. And I think you convinced me. I think I'm going to eat my words from last week and say that you know what? I was surprised by the fact that, oh my God, this was probably the worst movie ever made. It was so predictable. It was literally everything that I predicted it was going to be. There wasn't one original line in the whole movie. There wasn't one thing that surprised you at all. There's a giant reveal in the middle, which wasn't a reveal because if you couldn't figure that out by 2 minutes into the movie, why this guy is such a dick, a loser. He even talks about the fact that he drops out of playing basketball after 2 years because from dad was gonna bad, okay? And it was like a giant postcard of Americana sports movies that I hate every single thing about it. There wasn't one.
That's the problem. You went into this movie.
No, I tried to open.
I'm gonna hate it because I hate all sports movies.
Yeah, but this really wasn't a sports movie. In fact, they didn't even have to have the sports in there. It actually became a little bit of a sidetrack from the actual story, which is him just being a dick, predictably so, and that he ruined his marriage because something happens. People are either gonna see this or not. But if you watch this movie and are surprised by anything by it, I would be completely shocked. There was not one piece in here that you would kind of go, wow, you know what? I did not expect that to happen.
There's something to be said for tried and true formulaic stuff. Sometimes.
You're almost selling my point here.
No.
And the worst thing about this was the soundtrack. Murray, if you can imagine, it was one note soundtrack, pretty much the entire. It was like.
The soundtrack was spectacular.
And it was like I couldn't really relate to his character through the movie because I'm not a raging alcoholic and have had my life destroyed by something terrible event, because we don't want to spoil it for the people. But what I can tell you is I felt his pain and suffering because I had to listen to this soundtrack. Through the whole movie, I was literally sitting on the edge of my seat, not with expectation of something happening, because nothing really happened through this whole movie. But what I was sitting on because I was so irritated when Bryce talks about the hair standing up on his back of his head. It was standing up on every part of my body because it was like fingernails on a chalkboard. I was like, can they please put anything else but this terrible soundtrack? It just, anybody who watch this movie, if you just even watch it, because you don't have to, because it's basically every other sports movie ever.
Everyone should absolutely watch it.
No. Anybody who loves watching brain dead sports movies, almost like Miracle, but a little different. It was a little different. a little bit.
I know, good.
Miracle was a little, yeah. Actually, you know what? I think I actually like Miracle better than I like this movie.
Oh, you did not.
I absolutely do now believe it.
No, you didn't.
I maybe one of the things we get dared to rage about, but I would literally watch The Miracle on Ice.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell it was called.
It was just called The Miracle.
The Miracle. I would watch The Miracle again before I ever watch this movie again. So I gave this the biggest rage. I want to say Ben Affleck barf in the bathroom rage for this movie. So we're definitely at different ends of the spectrum on this one.
Absolutely. You've just got this predilection to going into sports movies, knowing you're going to hate them, and just kind of sitting there picking stuff apart.
I bet you...
Instead of just letting that performance by Ben Affleck wash over you.
Like a tidal wave of terrible Americana film.
So good.
No. He was okay. I didn't mind him.
He was very good.
One thing I can say, having not seen the film, is Ben Affleck is really, really good at playing an asshole.
Yeah, there you go, Mer.
Almost like he's typecast in every movie he makes. He plays a douchebag.
Well, he did again here. And so he was very good.
I guess he pulled off the performance, but
I will give you props.
The movie wasn't worth it.
The guy was a douchebag, but I'm telling you, I was rooting for him.
I just wanted him to. I was hoping he was going to die in a drunken car crash.
That's just because you're a terrible person.
I find myself wishing that in every movie he's in.
Well, there you go, Mer. You know what?
Well, that makes you a terrible person too.
That's right. I stand by
this is called Film Rage, buddy. It's not called Film Rage Love or Film Love. No, it's not. It's Rage. We're raging, and for good reason.
I love this movie.
John.
God.
Mondo.
Sometimes I think you just like stuff to piss me off more, because I can't understand why someone with good taste like you have really hated this movie or like this movie. I just can't get it.
It was excellent.
Yeah. I am going to bring this movie back up later in the podcast, because we did see some really good movies this week.
Oh, did we?
In comparison.
What did we see that was
We just saw one tonight.
We did see one tonight, but if you're going to start talking about the one we're going to talk about next and saying it's a good movie, we got a problem, buddy.
Yeah, I haven't raged on it. Okay, let's talk about it.
It might be coming back later in the episode too.
It's going to. Okay, so Seberg. So I actually like this movie, and I don't normally like period pieces. So here's a perfectly good example about me hating period pieces, and I actually like this movie. The reason I liked it was maybe not the same reason you're going to rage about it. I thought the cinematographer captured really great the feel of that era. I actually thought Kristen Stewart did a great job. I know you, for whatever reason, you didn't like her, but I thought she did a great job. I thought, I had so much pain and suffering because of the other one. It's almost like I'm drawing a blank. I don't think I loved it. I don't know if I can give it a Mondo. It's a meh
Okay.
for me, but I did enjoy it. Yeah, it's a meh. But I did enjoy it. I liked the story that it had. I liked the fact that I didn't know much about her. So Seberg is an actress who actually was like, nowadays we don't even talk about her.
Yeah, so she was blackballed.
Yeah, she was blackballed, all because in this movie I thought did a really good job explaining that. It maybe didn't have as much dynamic play that I guess I was hoping to see from it. But it was a nice rolling forward film that you got to see her a little bit more, and it made me want to know more about her.
Well, we didn't really learn much about her at all in this movie, so I would imagine that you would want to learn more about her.
That's true.
Okay, let's start with the fact that Kristen Stewart looks completely disinterested through this entire movie. I've been warming up to her lately, but this performance was a major step backward.
Back to her Twilight days.
Yes, here she showed the emotion of, dare I say it, a potato. We are led to believe that she is passionate about these issues. However, her deadpan delivery showed zero passion. And why on earth would Jack, the featured FBI agent in this story, sink his own investigation by trying to warn Seberg about said investigation? That did not make any sense at all.
You can't hide from the truth.
I guarantee this was a complete fabrication by the writers and an unnecessary one that seems to contradict this contrived story that the director was trying to tell. There was some good here. Anthony Mackie as Hakeem Jamal was solid, and Vince Vaughn does his job to perfection by making him absolutely despise his character as intended.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm going to give it a meh. It's a really low meh, but I didn't hate it, but at its core, it could have been so much better with a few plot changes, staying more true to the core story, and perhaps a different lead actress.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I somewhat disagree. I thought her performance was good. I didn't say it was great, but I've never been a huge, big Kristen Stewart fan. What was the one she made with Lex Luthor? She American. What's that?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, thank you. The one
American Ultra.
American Ultra.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
That was awesome.
Yeah, she was awesome in that. Yeah. And that's pretty much one I've ever.
As I say, she's been building up for me.
Credibility, and then
all of a sudden, I didn't. Yeah.
You gotta admit the visuals on this were pretty good.
It was a well shot movie, and it looked great. I won't deny any of that, and that's part of the reason why I'm mad. I'm not raging because there's a lot that pissed me off about this movie, but there was just enough good in there to make me go, it wasn't totally,
Yeah, I you know what I think for me that what made it more refreshing. That took a lot to get it out of my mouth, but was I didn't know anything about this actress, and it's funny because she was in Airplane, right? Or Airport.
Airport.
Airplane.
totally different movies.
Different movies.
Yeah.
They both have the word air in it, but
Totally different movies.
Leslie Nielsen would be rolling over his grave.
That's
but
right.
but she was in Airport, which I love that movie, and now I want to go back and watch it and see her in it because if she held the camera the way that they made you feel she did in her shots, I kind of want to see more of her. Actually.
Fair enough.
See some of her French films too. All right, so now we're going to talk about what we saw tonight with our friends at Calgary International
We
Film.
literally just got back from it.
Yeah, rushed back to do this recording. The Burnt Orange Heresy.
Yes.
And thanks to our buddies at CIFF.
Calgary Film, thank you very much.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to get to partner with them on some of their global perspectives. So super big shout out to CIFF or CIFF, depending on how you say it. Okay, let's just rate this quick.
Mondo.
It's a Mondo. This film literally blew my mind. I don't know. Like we talked about Beanpole and how that movie was probably my favorite foreign film of last year. I liked it even better than Parasite.
Yeah.
And this Burnt Orange Heresy, I didn't know what to expect. Like I saw a trail. I think we talked a little bit about this, but I think I saw a trailer. I don't know how long ago, like probably 6 months ago.
Long enough ago that I didn't really
and
remember.
And it was just a scene with Donald Sutherland sitting at the pool, and I went, I don't care when this comes here. I have to see this movie.
Yeah.
And it was like the writing. It's the writing.
Yeah,
The director.
Tremendous dialogue through this whole thing.
The director didn't really. I mean, with the writing like that, the director just had to go, hey, I'm going to turn on this camera over here and we're going to film it. Because the writing was that good.
Yeah.
Like every single character, even the little tiny ones.
Quite often, that's what you get when you get a movie based on a novel.
Yeah, a well-written novel.
Exactly. Coming back to your point, weeks ago where you're like, you know what? There's a lot of books that are being written out there. Let's start making movies out of those. This is a perfect example of what happens when you do that.
And again, I'm sorry I have to slam your terrible way back, but in contrast to the dialogue, I didn't know anything was going to happen here. It was so well crafted in the dialogue. The dialogue from the way back to me was like, okay, another American sports movie.
The way back was predictably awesome.
It was predictably
I totally agree.
This was a surprise. Every turn on this was a surprise. I had no clue what was going to happen.
No, there's some 3/4 of the way through where all of a sudden there's some shocking stuff that all of a sudden it's like you think you know what kind of movie you're watching. You ain't watching that type of movie anymore.
But you know what? You know what made the difference is right from day one of the film.
Oh, they had little foreshadowing things too.
And the music.
Yeah.
The music felt like, when you're watching a thriller, the music has a feel to it. This felt like a thriller, but the story wasn't unrolling like it was a thriller.
Yeah.
It was more like, this is going to be an interesting character study of Donald Sutherland when we finally get to meet him.
Yeah, this was a movie that really did have kind of 3 distinct acts. I found.
It could have been a play
where they met and everything. The second one where they're beating up with Mick Jagger at his house, which was just Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
Talk about Mick Jagger for a bit there, Jim.
Oh, Mick Jagger! I just, he played this. He was like this. He brought this air of arrogance to the part
so
that
arrogant.
I haven't think I've seen anybody, but it was so calmly done, and he's like backhanding the other main actor, like every left and right, like every word that he speaks, and so classically spoken, Mick Jagger, and you're just like, Mick, I'm like falling in love with you all over again.
He was just so good in it. I mean, granted, he had excellent material to work with, but you know what? I'm not sure I can picture anybody else really doing that. Like Mick Jagger came in and just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I mean, who has
so good?
Who has as much money as an actor?
Fair enough.
They could actually do that.
You could totally relate, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was like, "This is my summer cottage." Like he's in this giant mansion.
Just a huge mansion. My summer cottage.
This is my summer cottage. Actually, it's my wife's summer cottage. It's like, I've got my own summer cottage.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of surprises. We don't want to give any spoilers here.
No.
But everybody should see this movie. It's a very slow burn though, but at the same time you want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
Because the characters are developed so well right from the beginning, and you kind of go, what's this deal on this art guy? Like,
plus
he's a player.
Exactly. And the whole thing is the little snippets that we get a kind of a section of Mick Jagger, which every second he's on the screen is just so entertaining. Then we get a little section of Donald Sutherland, and every second he's on the screen is so entertaining.
And the dialogue.
And the dialogue is just so well written. Just so well written.
Yeah. So. I don't know. I'm guessing that the guys at CIFF who programmed this whole series, the Global Perspective, really did focus on like the best of the best from each country.
Yeah, and they've as I say, we've been to 2 of them, and they've both been tremendous.
Yeah, whoever's listening, if you get a chance,
if you got a chance to go to a Global Perspective screening, I gotta say, so far, you can't miss with it so far. So.
I want to say my catchphrase, but so far I don't want to say it because now I'm getting criticized. But
just say it, Jim.
Can you say it for me so that at least somebody does?
No, you gotta say it.
Not gonna happen. All right, so let's talk about what's coming out this week, and there's a couple interesting movies coming out.
Yeah.
Good retort.
Well, interesting, I guess. The Hunt's coming out. It was supposed to come out quite a while ago and got delayed because, I don't know, all sorts of reasons, apparently.
Apparently.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. In contrast to alcoholic drenched sports movies,
When if they're done right,
Yeah.
Mondo.
yeah, if you can ever find one.
Just
But
like the way
in
back.
contrast, this script has been done probably 100 times.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been done 100
Oh
times.
yeah, there's been how many movies have you seen that people hunt people for sport? It's like probably,
7.
Yeah, I've seen at least 7. Like I could probably just list if I go online and search
It's
it.
not
it's probably-
100.
No, there's probably a quite good 100. I haven't really looked.
There
But
isn't 100.
I don't. There's a lot of black exploitation that
that's
had a lot
just
of this going on
silly.
too. But yeah, so I want to see this just because it looks like there's some really cool, blowed up, real good type stuff in this.
Yeah, I mean the trailer's intriguing. It could be really good. It could be awful.
It could be terrible.
I guess we'll find out.
But you know, Hilary Swank is in this.
Yeah, what is
she
it?
is.
That doesn't do anything
How
for
do you?
me.
Hilary Swank is a brilliant actor.
She is, but whatever.
So even if we
And
see
now-
her only for 5 minutes, which is probably what it's going to be, I don't know. They're not really profiling her in the trailer.
I don't know.
But
Apparently, she's going to be in kind of the climax from what the trailers are showing. Which
it does
maybe
kind
the
of look like
maybe
that.
maybe the trailers are showing too much again. I don't
Maybe,
know,
but
whatever.
okay, like I don't. She kind of disappeared from Hollywood for a while, right? Like she
did
kind of
she?
played a back. I think she maybe did some TV work for a while, but like
I
sh-
don't
I,
think she
I,
even did that.
she would almost be undoubted to me anyway,
I'd have to go
because
look.
everything I'd ever seen her in was great. I mean, look at $1 Million Baby.
That was good.
Yeah,
That was great.
7 was it the. I can't remember all the names of her films, but the one I
Buffy
was-
the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, exactly.
She was
Her
in
and
that.
Pee Wee.
Buffy.
Exactly.
With
is
the
correct.
greatest death scene ever.
Yeah, Pee Wee's death.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, that was so good.
So good. So yeah, you know what? I think we talked about we're gonna see this weekend, right?
It has been agreed that The Hunt is on the list
The
of
Hunt
things that we're going to see.
Will be
yes.
hunted.
Yeah, we'll
All
see
right.
it.
Well, let's move on to Bloodshot. So Vin Diesel does nothing for me, so I kind of
Yeah,
don't
he's-
ever want to see this. But it is it's based on a comic, right? So sometimes comic movies are good. Okay, well that kind of speaks for itself.
It just looks dumb.
It does look dumb. I'm sorry. The script looks terrible. This guy keeps coming back, and then guess what's going to happen? He's going to realize something, and he's going to kill them all.
I just have one more thing to say about it.
What? Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same way. I mean, I am going to see it at some point because I do like people killing people and stuff.
Okay,
so.
well,
But I don't think I'll pay the money at the movies.
Let me know if I should watch it, but don't give me one of those, oh, you should really watch it when you just want me to watch it because it's terrible.
Like 6 Underground.
Like 6 Underground.
I'm
what
just
a steaming pile.
I'm just sharing my pain, buddy. I felt if I had to see that terrible movie, you should have to see it too. And My Spy. You know what? I'm not a big fan of kids and old people in movies together.
Yeah, well,
You
you
calling
know.
Dave Bautista old?
Yeah.
Well,
he's
he's
old
not
compared to
young.
her.
Exactly. She's like 12 or whatever. I don't know how old
I mean,
she
there's very rare that I see a old dude with a young girl where I'm feeling that I'm comfortable with this on screen. And, you know, probably, oh God, I'm completely drawing a blank. Leon is probably one of the best depictions of that, where it was done really well.
The Professional.
Yeah. So, I mean, this particular one, I don't know. It just doesn't nothing do for me either.
I don't think it's really geared towards us.
No.
You know, if I had a kid, I might go to this movie, but I don't, so I won't.
I don't either, and it might be awkward.
Yeah.
2 creepy old guys in the back with a bunch of family members.
All right, so let's just take a pass on this
I'm
one
gonna
then.
take a pass on My Spy.
There we
Maybe
go.
if one of our listeners is gonna watch either one of these, let us know what you think of Bloodshot and My Spy.
Yeah, if they're really worth watching, let us know. But
Yeah, or if they're gonna make us rage as much as Sonic did, then maybe we should see it.
Yeah, well,
And-
maybe one of these is gonna be, you know,
The Sonic of the future.
well, Rage or Dare's coming up later in this
no.
episode. So
Oh no! Let's not put it in his head. And then what we are seeing this week on Friday. Everybody should check this out. It's at the Globe, the 21st annual animation show of shows. And
Cool.
I've seen some of these. CIFF or CIFF has played a couple of them. They look really good, and you're supporting local cinemas. So if you get a chance, get out and see this. I'm guessing this is probably playing across everywhere in North America. I'm sure it's a package, right? It travels.
I would think in some form it'll show up somewhere. Yeah.
So any other listeners in the U.S. or across Canada, check this out because it should be really good. They're usually a really good time.
Cool.
And then what do we got, Mur? You know what? Crank that music. Oh yeah, let's have it, baby.
Nice.
Streaming, motherfucking streaming. Person are streaming, and maybe Murray is streaming. Streaming.
You have the voice of an angel.
Streaming.
When he's not raging, he does.
All right, well, we're only going to talk about one thing this week that we've been trying to talk about for a while.
Yes.
And I really wanted you to see this. This was a Mondo to me, and we're talking about System Crasher.
System Crasher.
So this is on Netflix.
It is.
And the reason it's a Mondo for me is this movie completely blew my mind that anybody could make this movie and have you have that much emotion that's going through me. So as you know, Bryce, and maybe some of our listeners do, I like a movie to make me have some form of emotion.
Yep.
And this took you to places that were uncomfortable.
There is a couple, yep.
Right? Because you don't know what's happening. So the story is, the write-up on it from IMDb is, on her wild quest for love, 9-year-old Benny's untamed energy drives everyone around her to despair.
It's kind of accurate.
It is kind of accurate. Like this, and you know what? I did a bunch of reading about this afterwards. The director is a woman. It's Nora Finchade and Finchade. Thank you. Donka is the thing. And she actually worked for a little while in her previous life in the system with some of these kids that are bounced around through foster homes, and the things they get this little girl to do in the movie, and interestingly, Nora talks about this, is that they couldn't get her to rage as much as she did through this movie. Yeah. So that every time she did a rage scene, she would have like 2 hours of playtime. Right. Where they would have fun and do some cool stuff. And like to get her performance is beyond mind blowing. Like I really felt like this girl was
a tour de force.
Was a mess. And she stole the screen from everybody.
Yeah. And if ever there was someone that depicted rage on the screen, this little girl did. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's, you know what? I'm going to preface it. For me, it was a heavy Mondo, but for a lot of people maybe watching it, they may not get this film because it's really hard to watch.
It's a hard watch. There's no question.
Because there's so much plight this little girl and the people around her go through.
Yeah, and there's some super tense moments in this where you're like, oh my God, is this gonna happen? And sometimes it does happen.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, like you don't want to spoil anything because
there's a lot of moments like this because this little girl is she could absolutely fly off the handle at any moment. So there's a lot of situations where you're like, oh well, this is a powder keg. This could absolutely explode. And once again, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
To me, that's a sign of a really well-written film.
And that's the whole thing.
I don't care what anybody says. Like, if I don't know what's going to happen, I'm more excited. And there's a moment in this that was kind of, to me, it almost summed up the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler here, but there's a point near the end of the movie where her major caseworker in the foster system, she has this conversation with her mom, and I don't want to say too much about that, but she has this conversation with her mom, and she comes back in, and then she just finally breaks down. Like, this woman has been so strong and been such a big part of this little girl's life. You don't even know for how long, but the scene of her collapsing on the ground and just crying, and the little girl
actually comforting her.
Yeah,
this little ball of rage.
Yeah, this little. It was just literally, I was bawling my eyes out. I couldn't stop crying. I was like, this girl can be so tender. And you know what I loved about it too is the film doesn't tell you what happened to this girl, but you know it's bad to
Yeah.
cause her to be the way she is.
Yeah.
And you know the mother's boyfriend is involved.
Yeah.
Right? Because you
Yeah.
see it as soon as she sees him.
Yeah.
Right?
There's no
So-
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's as I say, it's a hard watch. There is a lot of good in it. At the end of the day, though, when I watch the whole thing, it's still just a meh to me.
Well, that's because you didn't really actually get to see it.
Well,
So once you see it
I
again,
must admit, I was sitting beside someone who just
was preoccupying your brain.
Did not like it at all. Hi, Kim.
well, maybe if you get a chance to watch it on your own or with someone who can also appreciate it, then maybe you might feel different. Anyway, it's good two perspectives on it. I can see people actually being bothered by this because they don't want the content that is being brought forward. So,
Yeah.
all right, that's it for our streaming this week. It's a short one on that.
All right, you ready?
We're all ready.
Rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Well, this week, my rage, I'm a little mooted this week on my rage, only because I don't choose to watch sports movies. So I
Which I
can't
don't
rage.
understand because they're all excellent.
There's not one, I don't think I've ever seen one that's excellent, to be quite honest. Because I'm never surprised by what they're... And I always laugh because people will say, this isn't really a sports movie. Yet half the movie has people doing sports. And so you're like, okay, is it a sports movie or isn't it a sports movie? Granted, the way back, really, it didn't need to have anything in it. It didn't even really have anything. You could have made this a short the way back. It literally could have been a short. It would have been 7 minutes. It told the story. You wouldn't have not figured out what was going to happen in it, and then it would have been over, and I could have had another probably 2 hours of my life back that I never had to see this movie. But certainly sports
good.
movies that mostly that are one-dimensional, and that's what I want to say. Like, if someone can come up and tell me, and other than Bryce, because he obviously has this fetish for sports movies.
Who doesn't
But
love an underdog
Murray, can
story?
you even think of a sports movie that actually was an actual good movie?
Well,
I bet you can.
I can think of many of them, but it depends on the sport. Like,
Oh God, they're all the same.
no, if you don't
Winning formula.
if you don't like basketball, if you don't like tennis, whatever, then you won't like the actual film.
No, see, here's the thing. I like watching women's tennis, specifically women's tennis, but I also like to watch other sports. Like I like to watch hockey. But the biggest problem I have is, to your point, Bryce,
Dare
is
we
they're
say
formulaic.
Slap shot.
Yes. Okay. Slapshot was a good movie, and really, it was because it was hockey, A, and B, it was funny as fuck. Like it was a good movie. Okay, I eat my words on Slapshot. That's it.
I can think of several, but yeah.
All of them I'm gonna hate because they're all tell the same story.
I thought
someone's
you
down
liked
on
the
their luck.
replacements.
No, I was lying.
You were lying.
what?
I
A
just
Keanu Reeves movie you didn't like.
well,
it?
I just turned
By
the
way,
volume down and
it
watched
was-
Keanu Reeves on screen.
It was terrible. The
It
replacements
was
awful.
not. Made me cry at the end. Thank you
course
very
it's
much.
terrible.
What about Major League?
Major League was
League
also
was
bad.
It was
Awesome.
awesome.
Tin Cup.
Tin
Awesome.
Cup. Good flick.
Awful. Every single thing you're telling me is okay. Maybe no. Madonna was in
Hoosiers.
League of Her Own. Hoosiers was also awful.
Whatever.
It's another
Tom
okay.
Hanks was in that movie.
There's
Come
usually
on.
two outcomes: the team comes back and wins, or the team loses. So it's like I got a 50-50 chance of actually predicting what happens in the movie. And then when it's a down and out type of thing, it's like, oh, it's going to be a Rocky movie where guess what?
Did you
he
just
loses
say
the
that
first.
the team wins or the team loses? I've got a 50-50. That's the dumbest thing you've ever said
No,
on this
it's not.
podcast. And you've said some dumb
no,
things.
that is not.
That's a 50-50.
But there's no surprise. It's not like
Oh
there's
my
going to be
God.
something more original. Like,
But what
guess
if
what?
they tie, Jim? You're
They
just
tie,
being
that's
stupid.
right.
Oh wow! So I have a 33% chance of predicting the outcome of this
tied at
terrible
the-
movie.
They tied at the end of the first Rocky.
That is
It was a
correct.
draw. No.
No, he didn't. Rocky
you
lost.
Just went the distance.
Rocky
Never
lost.
mind,
He
never
went the
mind.
distance and he lost.
That's
And
right.
then
The second one was almost a tie.
Yeah.
okay, please stop talking about Rocky because
Rocky,
literally
Rocky,
that just proves
man.
my point. Is like,
Love Rocky.
It's so
Another
terrible.
spectacular sports franchise.
is right.
Another one where you have to have the subtitles just to understand what Stallone is talking about. Well, I'm sorry, what was that? I don't know, Adrian. Oh my God, it's the worst. Anyway, that's my rage for the week.
So Jim hates
Bryce
the
will-
sports movies.
Well, it's not just okay. I want to be very clear here. It's just not sports movies. It just so happens that most sports movies follow the same model. I do not like
A winning
Americana.
formula.
I do not like
For
Americana.
some reason, you don't like underdogs
Dramas.
that overcome the odds, and
I like really well written ones. I don't know what's going to happen.
Damn United was not American.
Which one?
The Damn United was not American. Michael Sheen was in that.
he was.
It was about Leeds United. It was
was
a true
very good
story
movie.
about football.
Really enjoyed it.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't bad because it was an American
There you
film.
go.
Maybe.
Oh,
But it was a sports movie.
so-
Anyways, wrap it up. That's
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's it. That's it for me. Passing the torch.
All right, passing the torch.
Here we go. I'm just gonna start rambling here.
All right, do your ramble.
Like you normally do.
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll be semi-coherent. My rage this week is biopics that take liberties with the source material by altering timelines, creating situations that never happened, or adding characters to the story that never existed.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's actually going to be my first example, my friend.
Way to go, Merc.
While Seberg is the one that sparked this rage, it's by no means alone. If the person I'm just losing it already.
Bobbity boopity, boopity bobbity.
If the person,
Zippity-bobbity-boo.
if the person's story that you're telling is not interesting enough to tell without embellishing it, then why are you telling their story? Find another subject. There have been numerous examples of this throughout the history of cinema. Let's start with Bohemian Rhapsody. Had I not known so much about Queen going in, I may have enjoyed this film a lot more. But there are so many inaccuracies, I could not even list them all without going on for about 20 minutes. Here are the most glaring ones. The formation of Queen did not happen the way it was portrayed in the film. Queen never broke up, or were even close to ever breaking up. When Queen played Live Aid, they did not need to rehearse, as they were already touring for their album, The Works. The fact that they made Live Aid and the fictitious reuniting of the band about Freddie's AIDS diagnosis is completely laughable, as Live Aid was in 1985, and Freddie was not diagnosed with AIDS until 1987. This is just a few of the glaring inaccuracies. Trust me, I could go on. What I don't understand is that Freddie Mercury's life did not need to be punched up artificially. His life was plenty dramatic to fill a Hollywood script without making stuff up.
Yeah.
Another example would be the story of codebreaker Alan Turing from the Imitation Game.
That is correct.
This movie suggests that Turing invented the machine that breaks the Germans' Enigma code. This was not the case, as the Polish had developed the machine well before Turing had even started on his. The fact is that Turing just developed a faster version of said codebreaker. Also, Turing was not autistic as portrayed in the film. This was just a crutch for the writers to make him seem more interesting. Then we have The Doors with Jim Morrison locking his girlfriend in the closet and then setting it on fire. They also had him drunk in every waking moment. Oliver Stone had Morrison threatening his girlfriend with a knife and throwing a television at a bandmate. All of this was fabrications. The list goes on, from Marie Antoinette to Patch Adams to A Beautiful Mind to The Social Network to The Blind Side to Braveheart, and so on, and so on, and so on. Could these have not been entertaining movies without embellishing the stories with misrepresentations? Finally, I will end with The Greatest Showman, which portrays P.T. Barnum as a charming and entertaining promoter, when in actuality, he was a cruel, slave-owning, exploiting racist with little to no redeeming qualities in his actual life. I guess that does not make for a very entertaining musical, though. I realize that the writers of
Definitely not.
No, I realize that the writers of these biopics felt that they needed to embellish these stories to make the subjects more interesting. But I say in many cases, this is unnecessary. And in the cases where you feel that it's absolutely necessary to embellish these characters to make an entertaining movie, maybe just don't make the movie. Find another subject or write something original. I'm done.
Well, we want to jump on this bandwagon for sure. First off, ending with The Greatest Showman. one of your girlfriend's favorite movies is probably going to be painful for you
Not
for
winning any
perhaps
points there.
perhaps the next 6 months.
Yeah, I was not going to go there, but
Well, now you have, and you're going to be suffering for this more than just your rage, buddy.
I'm sorry.
I will add one that I actually loved, but yeah, not completely accurate. That would be with my, number one Canadian of all time,
John Candy.
Cool Runnings, which wasn't completely accurate.
No way was it.
Or completely
That's
good.
Other than the fact
That's the understatement
other
of
than
the
the
year.
fact that the Olympics were actually in Calgary, I don't know how much.
Yeah, they got that right.
And
Was there actually a shot of Calgary in
And
the
I'm
movie?
pretty sure
there was.
that they crashed their last run. But other than that, I don't know.
Yeah,
But did I care? No. It was entertaining.
There you go.
So I definitely agree with your rage in respect to maybe trying to make it more interesting when there's a lot more interesting to do. Like the one that made me the rage the most out of your entire list that you listed off was The Doors, because it should have been called Jim Morrison's Drunk and an Asshole, and The Doors really have nothing to do with this movie.
Yep.
So that's the things that I hated too. The movie with Freddie Mercury. I actually liked the performance that he did.
The performance was, and that was the whole thing. The performance was so good. A lot of it was really excellent, but just to screw around with the timeline like that, and
and
just
again, the thing that bothered you is that you know a lot about Queen.
yeah.
The average moviegoer probably
And that's-
didn't. Like,
and that's all
I
I-
didn't know
Yeah,
a
and so
lot
you
about
would have
it.
said you
So
probably would have really enjoyed
I
it.
thought that's the way it happened.
Yep.
Well, and even the Imitation Game, most super geeks on the planet
Yeah,
wouldn't know
wouldn't
anything
know
about
exactly.
that. So they enjoyed it because it had Bernard Cumberbund,
Benedict
and he
Cumberbatch.
was
Thank you
fantastic
very
in it.
much.
So it's like it's true. Movie going public can be ignorant, and to I guess maybe I'm defending a little bit a little bit more of Seberg, because I don't know anything about her. But now it's piqued my interest to know more about her. I want to go back and see more of her films. Now, did it portray it as well as it could have? I agree with you. But it gave me enough about her and her story, because it's an interesting story in the fact that here is this Hollywood starlet that's actually on the rise, and they really didn't they really didn't give enough portrayal about her. But what she did, if some of those things are true that was happening, you're thinking to yourself, wow, obviously the FBI
A lot
really
of it
did
was
do a
true.
lot of bad shit there.
Yeah. My problem with Seberg was that they focused so much on the FBI side, and then they made one of them almost a sympathetic character when that they shouldn't have done that. I just don't
Do
understand
we
why
know
they
if
would
that's
do
true
that.
or not, though? Because it'd be interesting.
There's no way this guy existed, and no.
I don't know.
That is just if someone no, there's no way. This was obviously something that was just put in there.
We may have to look this up.
Yeah,
after.
you look it up all you want. This guy does not exist.
Well, and in the end,
no
really,
one,
I mean,
no
if-
one's gonna blow their entire investigation.
If watching it makes you want to find more about the subject,
well, that's
Then
good.
it did its job.
Then the filmmaker did their job.
did their job.
Exactly right. Even if they screwed it up in the movie, you want to find out the real facts.
You know,
So,
when you speak softly, you carry a big stick, Mur.
sometimes I know stuff.
You know a lot of stuff.
Sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that was a good rage. That was a good rage, people.
There you go.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Well, you know what time it is.
That is right.
Oh, that
Oh,
music
yeah.
can only mean one thing.
The
right.
Merman Minute.
Nice.
Yeah, it's my time.
It's my time.
It's my time, damn it.
Do what you want with it, my friend.
Sounds like a Goonies line.
All right, this week's topic might make my colleagues rage a little bit.
Is it the Oscars?
This way, don't skip the punchline. But in keeping with our recent rage challenges, I present a list of the worst movie musical.
Ah.
I love this. What are you talking
Now,
about?
this is based on IMDb's
List.
rating system, not necessarily
So it's
mine.
people's input into it.
Yeah, like thousands of people on IMDb. This is the ratings of the worst.
Lay them on us.
Hit us, baby. Hit us.
All right, we got high up on the list from Justin to Kelly.
Oh.
Now, this was the first Kelly Clarkson, the first American Idol winner, and the runner-up. And it was basically an attempt to cash in on the whole American Idol craze.
Ouch.
Didn't work. Score of 2.1 on IMDb.
That's still quite high, actually. I've seen some ones.
And it only
Not too many.
made $5 million at the box office. So
How much did it cost? Do you know?
Probably more than that.
I would imagine.
Next up, we have Glitter.
Oh, glitter.
Ouch.
Mariah Carey trying to act.
Ugh.
Just so wrong.
It is.
Only
Fingernails
managed
on
2.2 and only made like $4 million at the box office. Then we got Rhinestone.
Ugh.
This is okay. Here's the plot: a country
Dolly
music star,
Parton.
Dolly Parton,
must
Sylvester
turn
Stallone?
an obnoxious New York cabbie into
Yeah.
a singer to win a bet, and she plays the country star, the cabbie Sylvester
Yeah.
Stallone,
Yeah,
singing country.
I know. I'm trying to.
Even the
I'm
thought
try-
about it makes me barf.
I'm trying to remember it. I know I saw it.
I'm
Yeah,
sure I did.
I
too.
saw it too.
Then we got Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
The original or
which
the?
I thought was about the Beatles, but no, it's a
No,
really
it's
bad
Peter
movie
Frampton
with
and the
Peter
Bee Gees.
Frampton.
Oh,
Hey,
yes.
look at my sheets.
I already knew.
It's my
We've seen
time.
it. We've seen it.
So can any of them act? No.
But the Bee Gees can sing.
Can they?
Yeah, they can.
They can sing.
And then the next
Sorta.
one kind of pains
Five.
me
Bite your
because
tongue.
I have a real soft spot for this movie.
Aw.
Grease 2.
Oh God.
Oh, so
I actually
bad.
liked it better
So
than the
terrible.
original. Probably
Okay.
mostly due to Michelle Pfeiffer in leather pants. But I digress.
I'll give it that, but I could just have a
yeah,
poster
the
of
story
that.
was bad. Acting was bad. Yet, I
Yet.
know
You still loved it.
every song of the movie by heart.
Of course you do.
To this day, and I haven't
Yep.
seen it in years.
All right.
When we go
Next-
offline, you can sing them to us.
Next
Or
up,
just sing them now.
we have Graffiti Bridge.
Oh, love
Which
that
was
movie.
The unofficial
So good.
sequel to Purple Rain.
Yes, it
Yes.
was.
It was directed by and starring Prince.
Yep.
And of course,
everybody's
Morris
looking
Day
for,
and the
everybody's
Time.
looking for, everybody's
See,
looking
the
for
fact that you
love.
know the music.
Ah.
Anyway,
It
yeah.
has some of the time's best music,
Yeah,
by the way.
he can't
I actually
act.
like that soundtrack.
He can't
It's
act
great.
and
It
he
had some
can't direct,
Tevin Campbell on it,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was all right.
Yeah. All right, next
But the
up,
movie was terrible.
The
You're
movie,
right.
the
There you
movie
go.
was terrible. The
Yeah.
soundtrack was good though.
Saying. Next
you're right.
up is John Travolta makes a lot of bad movies.
Yes, he
He
does.
does.
That's true.
He's actually on here more than once.
Oh, no doubt.
Staying Alive
I love that movie.
was the sequel to
Staying
Saturday
Alive,
Night Fever, which
Staying
they
Alive.
shouldn't have made. Directed by.
Oh, no, I hated Staying Alive. I
Directed
like Saturday Night
by
Fever.
his friend Sylvester Stallone. Directed that
Oh,
movie.
my
Oh, I
God.
forgot he directed it.
It's just, it actually made $64 million at the box office back in 1983, which wasn't bad.
Which is almost like
That's pretty big.
But
Titanic
it was
type money.
Terrible. Next up is another John Travolta musical. This
Yep.
time with Olivia Newton-John. If you loved her in Grease and Xanadu, well, this one was worse.
Oh no, please no.
Two of a kind.
Oh, I forgot about Two of a Kind.
Is that the one that had "It's a Strange Twist of Fate"? Wasn't that the one that was in the?
I think so.
I'm pretty positive.
And then we got Fame.
I
Not
want to live
the
forever.
Not
I want to learn how to fly.
Fly.
Not the original, which won, wait for it, 2 Oscars. There's your Oscar plug.
Ouch.
Wow.
And inspired a whole TV series.
That was
This
the original.
Was a
Oh,
remake.
yeah, Fame.
We're talking about the remake
with
from 10
Frasier
years
and
ago.
his ex-wife Lilith. It's like throwing the annoying voice of Megan Mullally, and it's just cringeworthy.
Phoebe Newirth was in it?
Yeah, she was.
Wow.
Then we got one of your favorites, Xanadu.
Xanadu.
Jim's already
don't.
raged about this. It was actually described as one viewer as a psychedelic disco nightmare with a lot of roller skating. Still like the music though. Okay, wrapping up here. We got Popeye with Robin Williams.
Is that a musical?
It
Yeah, it
was.
was.
He sang
Oh
in
my
it.
It was a total musical.
And then
But Shelley
fine-
Duvall was in it.
And finally, we have Annie, the remake.
oh, the remake was terrible.
Which one was it?
This
Was
is
it Black Annie? or
Jamie
the-
Foxx.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz.
It was
Oh.
bad.
Though apparently the original was also on this list.
Every
pretty high up.
Annie should have stopped being remade in 1920s when it
And he
started.
should have never been made
Pretty
into a
much.
movie.
Anyway, so I know there are a lot of bad musical films. If you listen to my fellow Ragers, they're all bad. But in my opinion, if you find yourself humming or singing the tunes after you watch it, Can it really be all bad?
Yes.
That's the Merman Minutes.
That was beautiful.
Nicely played.
Know.
I love raging about terrible musicals.
I just love the Merman Minute.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I can.
It's always
Deliver.
joy to our heart.
It
That
is.
is right.
All right. Well, we got some fans that gave us some people for the list this week. And actually, before that, we had probably one of my favorite actors of all time died this last week. So
That is true.
Max von Sydow has officially passed away. So I almost want to do a minute of silence because
Wanna do a minute of
he's
silence?
he's just not really, because I still like talking. We only have about 10 minutes left. But if you guys don't know Max Sydow's full body of
Von
work,
Sydow.
like just thank you. His full body of work. Go check out IMDb, especially some of his early stuff.
Oh, well, yeah, one of his first ones, Flash Gordon. And of course, Canadian classic, Strange Brew. He plays a really good bad guy.
I love that those are the two movies
But
you
you
came
pulled
up
out-
with. That is awesome.
Most people would have picked out Seven Seal or something. but,
Never heard of it.
You know. But Murray picked out the two best that I.
That's
I mean,
right,
who doesn't
I
like
did.
Flash and Strange Blue as Canadians?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I am actually going to put forward, before we talk about our nominated from our Ragers, I'm going to put Max von Sydow down as a Mesmerized.
I concur.
Mur?
Yeah, I can go for that.
All right, so it's
Cool.
official. Max has been added, and he'll be brought up onto our website. So we got 3 throwouts. So this is a friend of mine, Josh. Thanks, buddy. Who hadn't really started listening to our podcast till just recently, and he binged all of it. And he said, "Okay, I've got some names." Now we talked a little bit about this before. I'm bringing it up because one of us here is so angry because he still exists in humanity.
No, I'm not angry that he exists in humanity. That's fine. I'm angry that he made the worst movie that I've ever seen in my life, so I'm not putting him on any list. He's not going on.
How can you say that? He does hold the screen. We're talking about
I
Kevin
don't care.
Spacey.
He made the worst movie ever.
What was the worst movie ever?
The Life of David Gale.
No, that wasn't the worst movie ever.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was The Way Back. I saw it this week.
That's right.
You are so funny.
And Ben Affleck was in that. It was
That's right.
That's it.
I just want to hit you right now.
No, actually, the worst movie I think I've ever seen is The Invisible Man, and it was a few weeks ago.
There you go. You're just plucking out stuff like that's recent in your memory. Can you not remember more than like 2 weeks back?
I like David. What's his name? Who's also in it? Life of
David Caruso.
Yeah, David Caruso. He's
David
great. in
Caruso's
everything.
great.
He's great in everything.
He is. Not in this movie. The Life of David Gale is a steaming pile of crap, and anybody that says different is not very intelligent. Because
Well-
the whole movie, you can figure. I knew what was going to happen. You talk about knowing what's going to happen. In the first 10 minutes of that movie, it's all laid out before you. You know
was.
exactly how it's
It
going to
was.
happen.
It was absolutely, yeah.
It was predictable. It was
But
stupid.
didn't-
and
but
I
wasn't-
hated it. And
wasn't
it was
Kevin-
awful. And it was the worst movie that I've ever watched in my life. And the fact that Kevin Spacey was in it makes him not mesmerized, makes him not undoubted, makes him not anything. I'm sorry. Yes, he's been good in a lot of stuff.
And
The
he's been
fact-
mesmerizing in everything he's been in.
But that
That is
putrid
right.
piece of crap, he's never going on a list ever.
All right. Well, you've heard it here
He's
first,
heartbroken.
folks. Kevin Spacey will never be on a list as long as Bryce is alive.
Yep.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey was
So if you really want to get on
Kevin Spacey will
get on
just
the
have
list,
to kill
Kevin
him.
Spacey, yeah, you're gonna have to put a
Take you down.
Either take me down yourself or get someone to do it for you.
The next one is Ed Norton as Mesmerized.
Yeah, absolutely. He's totally mesmerizing.
Okay, perfect. Mur, what do you think?
I want to throw you a hell no.
All right. Well,
I can't freaking stand him in anything he's ever done.
so he's not mesmerizing to the
Not
merman.
to
Holy
me.
smokes.
Not to
I came
me.
right out of
Can't
nowhere.
stand
That
him.
did. I did not expect
Me
that.
neither.
And
Okay.
with such fervor and
Yeah.
emotion
Oh, no,
and
I hate him.
There you go.
apparently
Everything he's been in.
Everything.
everything.
Not that I watched everything he's been in, but everything
Death to Smoochie. He was fantastic.
He was Death
Never
to
seen it.
Smoochie was awesome.
One of the best movies ever made.
No, and on top things off, he's also a dirtbag.
As a
so-
dirtbag, there you go. That's
He's letting his
why.
personal feelings enter in again.
Yeah. Okay, and the last one
Guy's
is Johnny
not
Depp. As much as we know Johnny Depp's been in a lot of bad movies, he steals the screen from everybody.
That's a tough call.
I say yes. I'm voting yes to Johnny Depp because I think he's mesmerizing.
I would say his early stuff was till he started doing pirate movies.
Yeah, but he still is mesmerizing. Like he steals the screen every time, man.
Does. Okay, I'm gonna go yes.
Yeah, I guess I can probably agree.
You can
with
see
that.
even if you hate. Well, obviously we don't have the same beliefs about Bryce. If we hate the movie, we can still grant the fact that he's mesmerizing on the screen.
Yeah, but he hasn't made the worst movie in the history of film.
He made some pretty bad ones.
We've already talked about it.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck did last week.
You're lucky you're more than arm's length away from me. So I'd be smacking you upside the head if I could reach you.
All right. Okay, so we got 2 out of 4. Not a bad week.
No. Oh yeah, 2 out of 4.
Yeah, Max and
Max,
Johnny.
right.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Josh, for getting us out. And a shout out to Jess, who just wanted me to say she wanted us to talk about Trolls, the movie.
Did she really?
Yes.
Trolls?
Yeah. The new one that's coming up.
Like the animated
the
thing?
going forward
Yes.
one or whatever it was.
Why?
Did she go to it?
No, I don't know. Did it come out?
It hasn't
Yeah,
come out yet.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, that's the only reason I said. Jess just said, just say it. Talk about Trolls.
Okay.
So we're done.
We're done. Trolls have been talked about.
I remember
Let's
watching
move
a
on.
comedy
All right.
called Border. It had trolls in it.
Oh, I love that.
kind of
so
a different,
good.
kind of a
Great
different.
So good.
Nothing better than troll sex under a bridge.
All right.
All right. Well,
I guess we're talking Doubted now.
no. Did you guys have a doubted? You were gonna add?
I'll just add. We can do this quick. 'Cause
Okay, give it to us, baby.
I'll give you 2. They're kind of related because they seem
Yep.
to be in a bunch of Adam Sandler movies, which
Okay.
makes
Yeah, you thought of the same one as me.
A little easier to get on the Doubted list. I got Rob Schneider
Yeah, I don't even. You don't have to put the movies down. He's definitely doubted.
and Kevin James.
Oh, those aren't the ones I thought of, but I'm with in the same
Agreement of both of those?
Absolutely.
would
Well,
imagine.
okay.
Uh-oh.
Again, I'm a TV person.
Yeah.
I happen to like Kevin James in his TV show.
Yeah.
And then he had another TV show, which he then replaced the lead actress with the one from the first one, which made him a dirtbag.
Just make it
But
the
yeah,
same
his
movie.
movies, apart from maybe Paul Blart, which I enjoyed, the rest have been terrible.
You just can relate to Paul Blart.
I
more
thought
than
it was
most
funny.
people.
All right.
But
All right,
anyway.
so he's in.
And the one I just thought of, which
Nice.
is related, is David Spade.
I'm
Really?
That's a tough one because I do hate him. And that
Everything
whole
he sees makes me want to rage.
yeah, we might have to take that one offline because I'm kind of leaning towards yes. I like David Spade in Saturday Night Live, but
yeah.
Well, again, we're talking about their
The
movie
movies.
careers.
Yeah. I gotta
Like
look at it
that
again.
ensemble, like Adam Sandler and
yeah.
I guess Kevin James is never on SNL, but the other ones were. I mean, together as an ensemble, they were fine.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to look
Yeah.
because he did do Black Sheep or whatever with.
I actually kind of like that.
I did too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to take that one offline. But
In fact, I like both the movies. He
Yeah.
did 2 movies with Chris Farley. I
Yeah.
thought they were both all right. And
Yeah.
Tommy Boy.
yeah, Tommy Boy,
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Ninja too.
With
Sorry, we're digressing.
Okay.
We're running out of time.
We are.
All right, so we
All
got to do our Rage or Dare here. Last week, me and Bryce, we were raged to see Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
Mamma
the big
Mia,
question.
Here we go again.
Mama, something, something, something.
That is the words, isn't it?
I don't know.
No, it is.
Who knows? Should we go? Should we go again? So, what do we talk? Bryce, do you want to hit it? You go first, buddy.
I don't really.
You earned
wanna
this
go-
right.
I don't really want to go first, but whatever.
You earned this right.
I mean, basically, it's just bad. It's just so bad. Basically, it's a story of a woman who apparently had sex with every man she met, and now the spawn of these encounters leaves her not knowing who her father is.
To be accurate, it is the prequel of the first one, showing how.
No,
how
it's a
she-
pre- and post-woe.
Yeah,
It showed
it's
how
got
she-
ridiculous flashbacks of
Yeah,
her
no,
having
it
sex
showed
with
how
everybody.
she got knocked up.
Yeah, by having sex with everybody that she meets. It
Yeah.
was ridiculous.
In a weekend.
And by the way, why couldn't they just take a paternity test? that would just solve everything.
No.
Don't. But then
You're trying to make sense.
Well, they actually did eventually talk about that in the first one. If you would have saw the first one.
Oh, see, I missed the first, so I got to go back and watch the first one.
No, you don't. Please don't.
Thank God. So it's just dumb. The music of ABBA's bad enough without Stellan Skarsgård, Colin Firth, and Pierce Brosnan singing it. Yeah, I don't know. There's some just ridiculous quotes from this movie. I'm gonna leave the one doozy for Jim to reveal later, but here's a few of them. I love him more than any argument. I don't know what that means. I just want to be upfront and say I visually enjoy you. What? It's not easy being a mother. If it was, fathers would do it. What? Oh, this is a good one. Being a grudge holder makes you fat. It's
so good.
It's so stupid.
So good.
Oh my God.
That is super bad.
Take over, Jim. And
All right.
and at the end of it, I hope you lay on with the lay the best quote of the
Oh,
movie
dude,
on us.
it's
I know
it's the
coming.
icing on the cake.
Right on.
So let me just do a quick recap here. Music period pieces. I have now been to hell, and it scared me so much that I had to spend the entire weekend in a Catholic confessional doing anything that the priest asked me in hopes that it would save me forever from having to go there again.
They like some kinky stuff sometimes.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially in the confessional. The movie hurt my male junk for life. Greece was my favorite place in the world to travel to until this movie erased every positive memory of... Sorry, what country was I talking about?
Yeah, it was Greece.
Oh, right. See, yeah, it made me forget that country was
That's what the
even
Olympics
existed.
are from there, too. That's a sport.
Thank God Meryl Streep's character died and did not come back to torture us even more than her soul-crushing voice. Oh, wait a minute. She did come back at the end just to put a nail into my coffin. I didn't know.
Should have brought her back as a zombie.
Yeah, that would have made it a good movie. I didn't know ABBA had enough material to make 2 movies. Oh, wait, they didn't.
No,
but
they don't.
Still got it made. They should have stayed a play, and then I would never have to seen this and wasted 2 hours of my life.
Yes.
Not sure why they tried to write dialogue around the words of ABBA songs. First off, they did not fit the movie plot concept at all. But I guess you can fit anything anywhere if it doesn't matter about the story or you just want something to sing, along to. Then why didn't they just put all the ABBA songs together as a giant montage and people just sing to it? Even though the second worst singer in the first movie got killed off for the movie, they kept the worst, yes, James Bond. Good thing he only sang in 2 songs. This man, at one point, had a license to kill. Why did he not use it on this movie?
No kidding.
Why can they not
You're
cast
hurting my
actors
heart,
who can
Jim.
sing? If there is some kind of rule that they must make musicals where they put actors in who can't sing, I don't know. Colin Firth, you made the King's Speech. Why did you make this series and also Bridget Jones series? You know how to act. I don't get it.
No.
And Stellan Skarsgård, shame on you.
No kidding.
That's it. Shame on you.
Just shame.
Young Meryl Streep can sing and keep a tune, but Meryl Streep, as an older person, what is with that? She can't.
Yeah.
But you know what? Thank God that Cher showed up to save the day. Seriously,
don't
what the
even
fuck
know
was
you.
this movie?
It was so bad.
Why did 3 old men who banged Meryl Streep become friends again? I have no clue.
Makes no sense.
And through all that being said, I did get out of this the best line in any musical ever made. And I quote,
Yes.
"Be still my beating vagina." It pretty much sums up this whole movie.
Oh, that was awesome. I totally disagree with everything you just said, but it was awesome.
Apparently you haven't seen the movie.
Oh no, it was bad, but not for the reasons what you listed. But
That was only like a few things that I had to say about it.
Yeah.
I could have went on for days on this.
It was this awful.
All right, so this week, because Bryce and I got the torture, this week it's Bryce's turn.
that is right.
So Bryce, are you picking Rage or Dare, buddy?
I'm gonna pluck from the rage bag again.
All right, whose bag are you gonna touch?
Take yours.
Take mine this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Wait,
take-
that's
No,
not mine.
That's mine.
Here we go. This is a complete surprise, everybody. We're just listening. Bryce is reaching into my bag.
You're supposed to take 2, right?
No. No, that's only
that's
if-
only for you.
That's
it's
only for you.
You get the
I'm
special
special.
treatment.
Is that
Yep.
how it
You are
works?
special.
All right, then.
You are
Don't let
very
anybody tell you any different, Mur.
Yep. And here we go. Bryce will be seeing this week the great reveal, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Really?
Screen magic.
Literally one of the worst movies that Sean Connery's
And it
ever
has
been
the
in.
best Phoenix in it.
I'm trying. I don't even remember it. I know I've seen it.
Yes, because you're blocking it out of your mind.
There you
That
go.
could be. All right.
So,
Indiana
let's
Jones
find
and
out-
the Last Crusade. It
Still
is.
not the worst Indiana Jones movie.
No, but it's the first
Yeah,
one
at
that.
least it wasn't that crystal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
see, that
it's
was
still terrible. All right, we're over to our last segment here. Rage, Mondo, or meh?
That is right.
Right on.
Okay, you're going to whip through this because we're like super heavy.
Whatever.
Whatevs.
Okay, our first batch is directors.
Wow.
We got
We have a theme.
Martin Scorsese,
Meh.
Meh.
Stanley Kubrick,
Mondo.
Mondo.
Wes Anderson,
Mondo.
Roman Polanski,
Mondo.
Mondo.
Danny Boyle.
Mondo.
And the next list, I don't know if it's anything related, but we got Annette Bening,
Mondo.
Mondo.
Jennifer Connelly,
Mondo.
Mondo.
Ellen Burstyn,
Mondo.
Mondo.
Jared Leto,
Meh.
and Bill Nye, not the science guy.
Yeah. He's Mondo.
Mondo.
And finally, we have
That's what they should call. That's what it should be on the when they have them on the movie poster.
Under
Bill
the-
Nye, not the
not the
science
science
not
guy.
the science guy. Under the A, we got Arnold Vosloo, who was the mummy.
Rage.
Bald guy who was the mummy. The original mummy, not the
Like from the 30s?
no, the Brendan Fraser one.
Oh God,
Oh,
what?
Matt's a rage.
You didn't like him?
No.
He was also in 24. Amber Heard,
Meh.
Meh.
Anthony Hopkins,
I'm going to say Mondo.
Mondo, yeah.
Anthony Anderson,
Oh, rage.
Rage.
and Anna Paquin.
Ooh, meh.
Meh. I'm going to give meh.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to Extended Film Rage crew of Stephanie DeRoy for social media, who's on vacay right now. Leonard Conlon for his artistic vision and photography via Leonard Conlon Photography. Listen to us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and our new YouTube channel. Please comment. We are always wanting to hear your feedback, so please let's help us make this a raging blast for all listeners. So please comment often and please make us rage, please. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage
Rage on.